Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
This reminds me of one of my most embarrassing moments ever.
You mean the time Jesus called you Satan?
Oh man, yeah. It sounded so strange to me when he talked so much about how much he was going to suffer. He said straight out that he was going to be killed. I just couldn't make any sense of it. That such a thoroughly good and righteous man should end up dead.
The whole thing was a little absurd for us. You had just stood there and proclaimed that Jesus was the Messiah, and he had praised you for that. But then he says that he'll be persecuted and killed. How could mankind get away with killing the Messiah when he had come to establish a new kingdom of peace on the earth?
Exactly. So I said, hey, stop. We'll make sure this doesn't happen to you. Maybe I felt a head above the others right after Jesus had said that God himself had given me revelation. But I sure came back down to earth in a hurry. I have thought about that conversation so very many times.
Does it make sense to you now why he called you Satan?
Yeah, it does. He said to Pilate, if my kingdom was of this world, my servants would have fought for me. But his kingdom was not of this world. When I made my strong statements about protecting Jesus from being persecuted, I was thinking like a person who belongs to this world.
Right. So when you were saying that Jesus was the Messiah, you were saying something that you had actually received from God. But when you wanted to spare him from suffering, you were actually a voice for the God of this world, Satan.
Let's hear that again. When you wanted to spare him from suffering, you were a voice for the God of this world. Have we thought about that?
That's how I see it now, yeah. But it took me a long time. I really didn't understand how a person could be persecuted for their righteousness until I saw how they just attacked Jesus. The scribes and Pharisees hated him a lot more intensely than I had understood.
Jesus' teachings often went straight against our Jewish self-image. We hear from when we're little about being God's chosen people with a favored position because of the law that the scribes and Pharisees teach and enforce. It's the letter of Moses' law that matters.
But Jesus showed us that we had gotten way off track from the actual intention of the law, that God wanted to have fellowship with us and really live among us, that we truly live this life is what matters, not keeping the letter of the law. Our culture has this polished religious cover, like some kind of glaze. But under that layer, most are worldly. And it's obvious to pretty much everyone that the scribes and Pharisees are the worldliest of all.
So when Jesus exposed them the way he did, he could be seen as someone fronting a political uprising against their power.
You could say that, I guess, Matthew, but I think the real cause of their great hatred went deeper. Jesus' personal righteousness and purity were very unpleasant reminders of their own impure hearts. There's no doubt they felt the sharp judgment in their conscience whenever he was around, even when he didn't say a word.
Jesus' personal righteousness and purity were very unpleasant reminders of their own impure hearts.
Ouch. Yeah. Their hearts are in this world. The God of this world is threatened by all that Jesus stood for.
I felt like when Jesus said this, he was preparing us for something. It's a heads up. If you have a righteous personal life and you're open about it, you may be persecuted.
And honestly, Peter, sometimes the mere thought of this persecution has scared me to death.
Same here. The thought can be terrifying. But again, I think the key is this, what he says about the kingdom of heaven being ours. And that's why we're blessed, even if we're persecuted.
And when our focus is on the kingdom of heaven, anything that people on this earth can do to us becomes insignificant.
Yes, and really, it's not us they're persecuting, but Jesus and everything that his kingdom is about. So we can actually relax here, putting everything in his hands without worry.
justice in you fall captive. Fear to seek honor of men. Fear so you live to God's glory. You'll walk securely then. Fear not the enemy's armies. Fear God Almighty alone. Take His full armor upon you. Make His blessed teachings your own. Fear not for what you might suffer. Fear lest your crown you should lose. God's mighty word stands forever. His way of faithfulness choose. Fear not when striving in battle. Trust He is there by your side. Fear so that Him you serve only. Thus in His strength abide. Fear not the enemy's armies. Fear God Almighty alone. Take His full armor upon you. Make His blessed teachings your own. Fear Him who righteously judges. Fear so in victory you live. Each of your hairs He has numbered. Wholly to Him yourself give. Fear so you enter God's covenant. Fellowship deep will ensue. Fear so that